Hello, hello, happy Wine Wednesday. We go live here in Basic Wino at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday to give you fun tips and tricks and all sorts of awesomeness so that you can have a more fun-filled, wonderful life. Okay, so this week I want to talk to you about your stemware, your glassware, and does it really all matter? Does it change the taste of the wine, all of that good stuff, as well as what should you be drinking out of and using and all that good stuff when it comes to your wine. Are you ready for this topic? Let me know below. Hello, beautiful Kay. How are you doing today? For those who don't know who I am Tiara, aka T, the Wine Diva. And I am a co-founder here within the Basic Wino community. I love to sing, I love to dance, and I love to talk all about wine. All right, so let's get down to it. So today I have a rosé, just because it was open, from Open That Bottle Night. Let me know, did you do a little Open That Bottle Night? So I'm gonna use this wine to kind of go over the different things. So I've got a couple of different stemware and, a little tried and true red Solo cup here to see, does it really change any of the flavor, all that good stuff there. So this would probably be better practiced with a red wine, but like I said, this was what's open, and so that's what we're gonna go with. All right, so what I do know, because let's be real, I've been working in wine for over 5 years, close to 5 years now. I will say that I've practiced this a couple of times, and the main difference that I have found when I have been sipping my wine out of different stemware and glassware is it depends on the wine, how much oxygen it gets. If it's a bigger glass and it's a wine that really needs to breathe a little bit more, like a big bold red, it does make a huge difference from putting it in something tiny like this than putting it in something big that's made for red wine. I have definitely noticed a huge difference in being able to really take in all the flavors and get the smells and the aromas and the notes and all that kind of stuff when I use a bigger glass. Now, when I'm talking about rosés or white wines, typically it really hasn't made that much of a difference in my personal experience if I've used what we like to call a universal stem, which I think if you are someone, I live in an apartment complex, so I don't really have a whole lot of space in terms of cabinetry and I don't have an armoire that I could just have a bunch of dishes and stuff like that. And so I have to be very particular about what kind of stems and glassware that we use. Now, not gonna kid around, we do break things quite often. I think we broke a glass this week. So I do tend to add new things into our repertoire of glassware as the need kind of fits. But I do love having some crystal around. Crystal, I think it really helps emphasize the flavor of your wine. I've definitely taken the similar shaped wine, or similar shaped glass, same bottle of wine, poured it in both, and did a little swirly swirl, and I smelled more out of it. I was able to pull more aromas out of it, and it just tastes better out of crystal. Yes. Kay, you do have too many glasses. Kay has a lot of glasses. If I ever need a glass, I could just go over to Kay's house. I will say, that was lovely actually. So universal stems are great, something to pick out if you have limited space and or maybe you're just getting started out with wine, or maybe you know what? It's really close to wedding season. I already know that one of our wino friends just got married. So, it's wedding season, and maybe you want to get a gift for your friend who's getting hitched. Universal stems are a great way to, if you don't know exactly what they drink and you want to add to their home, that's something great to start with. If you have the space or you really are into wine, then I do recommend having a couple of options. So I've got the universal stem that's great for red, white, rosé, whatever. If you're having a party and you're going to be doing a little tasting, this is something simple that everyone can drink out of. Now, if you're a big, bold red drinker, and maybe you only drink reds, or maybe you're getting into reds, I do recommend something with a big bowl. This is called a bistro stem. And this is actually great for those reds because it has, all of that space up in there. You're not supposed to pour to the top, although I have definitely practiced, and this holds an entire bottle of wine. I've done my research. I do a lot of hard work in this industry, I gotta tell you. Oh my gosh, Kay says, I think I have over 200 wine glasses. Well, you know what? I think I have over 200 bottles of wine. So like we can do something with that. I don't know. But yes, so see that it has this big bowl here. So you're actually gonna like fill it, you know, kind of a little less than halfway. I like to do halfway because, you know, you don't need to take that many trips to like the cellar to grab a glass of wine. You just like, you know, fill it up. But leaving it about right here is going to give it that much surface area, a nice amount of space to get that oxygen in it so that it can really open, decant in the glass, and really improve the taste. And so the shape of the glass really does improve the taste of the wine, especially when you get into more complex wines. I think that, you know, when you're having something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit easier to drink, it really just, whatever glass floats your boat and makes you happy in the moment, right? I mean, even a red Solo cup will get the job done, if you know, if you know what I mean, right? I don't remember the last time I drank wine out of a red Solo cup. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit more muted, but what I have to say, I think one of the things that's really important to think about when it comes to wine and like the experience and all that good stuff. One, the glassware, totally an experience. It really elevates what you've got going on. If you're hosting a tasting, if you're having a dinner party or whatever, having the right accoutrement to set the tone for the experience is really important to really, you know, make your guests and make everyone feel just fancy and amazing and loved and cared for. And I'm not saying you can't feel loved with a red Solo cup. I mean, after a couple of glasses, everyone feels the love anyway. But I will say that like there's something in the brain where you're like, oh, I'm drinking out of a Solo cup. I'm not really like, I'm here to party. Like there's a lot of connotation with this type of glassware, if you will, that I feel like for me, when I'm drinking out of it, I don't really get all the flavors. I'm not in the headspace to really truly like try to enjoy the essence that's in the glass. So if you're going for a rockin' party kind of night and you don't really care about if the flavor profile and pairing and all that kind of stuff, use a Solo cup, you know, recycle, all that good stuff. If you're going for the true experience, you're trying to go for like, you know, that full feel and get the full flavor and really get nitty gritty into like all the fun wine stuff, go with the stems, go with the glassware. I'm a fan of stemware, especially if you're looking for a nice look. We do have stemless. One of the things about stemless is that you got to be careful about warming up your glass with your hands. Your hands give off whatever your body temperature is, which is usually what, 98.6 degrees or something like that. I don't remember. I don't science well, but your body is going to warm up the glass if you're going to hold your glass the whole time. So that's something to be like cognizant of when you are using stemless glasses. If you have the stems, you can hold it by the stem and that's going to prevent that for you. So I've been sipping out of all of these. So let's see. So let's go smallest to biggest. So this is a champagne flute. It's pretty, it's fun. I love it. I don't think this one's crystal. Nope. One way you can tell if it's crystal is if you've ever seen, let me know if you've ever seen Miss Congeniality, where she does the thing and she's like running her finger around it. If it makes noise, that's how you can tell it's crystal. You do need to have a little bit of wine in there and you got to wet the rim and play around with it a little bit, but this one will actually make the noise, and I've played around with it enough to know that it does. So champagne flute. It is one of the big things about tasting wine is being able to smell the wine, and it is kind of hard to get your nose in this like little hole here. So it does kind of change the flavor. So I definitely wouldn't put a red wine in here because you really want to be able to smell that red wine and like open it up a little bit. But this is actually made to keep the bubbles of your champagne, prosecco, cava, bubbly, whatever you got that has a little bit of sparkle and fritzy to it. Frizzante, if you're like Italian, like it keeps the bubbles in there and it keeps, you know, the oxygen all closed off so it's not like fleeting away, because we want to keep our bubbly, right? So this is great for bubbles. Otherwise, I wouldn't really use it because it's such a small amount. Like portion control, if you really are trying to like lose weight or something, like that's maybe what you want to do use it for, but otherwise I just save it for the bubbles. I like to stick to the universal stems for whites and rosés. Still provides a good amount of oxygen to it, to your wine, but it's not like, I don't know, I just don't feel like it's like super fancy or anything. It's just a glass of wine when I'm sitting in front of the TV watching anime or something. And then as I went over, we've got the Bistro stem, which is one of my favorites and great for red wine to get the wine all the oxygen that it needs and all that awesomeness. And then red Solo cup to party on Garth, right? So I hope this was helpful. I hope you got some tips and some tricks and some ideas on stemware if you're looking to expand your glassware. And if you have questions about getting stems or anything like that, you can always reach out to one of the Basic Wino wine reps. We've got an awesome line of crystal that you guys can totally check out and take advantage of if you want. And if you've ever wanted to host an event or whatever, a tasting, I know that you can get some discounts on some stemware and that kind of thing for hosting. So those are all some great things to think about. So if you like this video, please let us know. This is a public community, so you are more than welcome to share it out, tag your friends. Sharing is caring. So thank you so much for joining, and have an awesome sauce rest of your Wine Wednesday. I love you lots. Mwah. Cheers.